Welcome to the Worst Sports Channel on YouTube, Hot Garbage Sports with me, Coach Ryan D. The NHL Atlantic Division is absolutely lit. It is the most stacked division in the NHL. It's heavy on top. It's weak on the bottom. There's not a lot going on in the middle. This is going to be one of the most fun divisions to watch in hockey. If you're a casual hockey fan and you're looking for a way to get into the game, this is going to be the division for you. So we are going to break down the Athletics Advanced Statistical odds for each team in this division. Who does the Athletic and what does the math tell us about who is the most likely to win this division? And then what is Coach Ryan D's breakdown and prediction using his coach's eye as to what is going to happen in the Atlantic Division? You want to know about the Leafs, the Stanley Cup defending Bolts, the Bruins still got it? How about the Big Cats? Meow. Detroit Red Wings, Buffalo Sabers, they got a chance. And everybody's favorite team on this channel, the Habs. Stay tuned while we roll the intro. This is the video for you.
Here's Lemieux, the center penalty coming up. Look at Lemieux. Oh my God.
And if you're new to Hot Garbage Sports, consider giving us a thumbs up and a subscribe. This is part 3 of our 4-part series breaking down the Athletics Advanced Statistical Rankings of every team in the NHL. We've already done the Central Division. We've already done the Pacific Division. Links below, links above. Go find them on this channel and subscribe so you don't miss a beat. We've done this a few times before. We know what it means. We are looking at the advanced statistical percentage that a team will make the NHL playoffs in 2022 this season. And just because a team has a monster number beside their name does not necessarily mean that they will make the playoffs, nor do the percentages add up to 100. So if one team has an 80% chance, doesn't mean the rest got 20%. It's not how it works. So let's go ahead and take a look at the tier ranking list, as we always do, of the powerhouse teams in the NHL Atlantic Division. So number 1, it's a tie. We got the Leafs and we got the Bolts. The Leafs actually come in as number 2 on the Athletics rankings behind the Colorado Avalanche. The Bolts come in at number 3. Both have a 91% chance to make the playoffs out of this stacked division. That means in an infinite number of tries, the Bolts and the Leafs will do it 91% of the time, but there's only one try this season. The Boston Bruins are heavily favored with an 87% chance to make the playoffs. These are 3 monster teams that are absolute cup threats according to advanced stats. The Big Cats, the Florida Panthers, they come in with 98%. Do you agree with that? Stay tuned. We're going to talk about them. Should they be higher? Or are they where they should be? The Montreal Canadiens, the pesky Habs, they come in with a chance, 39%. We all know where they ranked last year, and they ended up making the Cup final. So math doesn't always mean everything when it comes to sports. It's why we play the game. And then the Detroit Red Wings come in with 5%. We have an error missing file. 3% and a 0% chance, like a legit 0% chance for the Buffalo Sabers. They stink. Let's break down the teams right now. We're going to talk about the Sabres first. This Jack Eichel saga is ridiculous. I don't even want to go into the players on the Sabres organization because the Sabres organization clearly just does not treat their fans or their players with the respect they deserve. They have become an absolute laughingstock, and I'm sorry, this starts from the owner all the way down. There's just a problem going on in Buffalo land. Eichel wants a surgery. They tell him he doesn't need one. Just let the guy get it done. Come on. Anyways, will Eichel be traded? Will he not? He doesn't even actually make the list for Sabres rostered players for advanced statistics. They are in the basement for everything except third pairing defensemen. The team is bad. It's the worst team in the NHL. Again, it's going to be a long year, Sabres fans. Outside of Rasmus Dahlin, I don't know if you have any saving graces. So that's enough for the Sabres. It's going to be a tough year to be a Sabres fan. Sorry, Melody Martin. I don't know what just happened there, but I think an NHL team tried to just insert itself into my video presentation. Oh, well, they don't matter anyway. The Detroit Red Wings come in with some really interesting players. I mean, when we take a look at the Red Wings roster, this is a team in full rebuild. There's no question about it. They are one of the basement teams in the NHL, but they're getting some good pieces here and there, especially with goaltender Alex Nedeljkovic. Amazing signing, Alex Nedeljkovic from the Carolina Hurricanes. I don't know what the Hurricanes were thinking not locking this guy up. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, but they have a young goalie, the future of the Red Wings, is Nedeljkovic. This is an absolutely amazing signing. When we take a look at the rest of the Red Wings roster, though, there really isn't much to talk about here. I mean, they're in the middle of a full rebuild. The advanced analytics don't really favor the Red Wings at any point. They only have a 5% chance to make the playoffs. This is a team that needs to blow up a couple of their veterans as they're going forward, amass some more draft picks. It's going to take some time if you're a Red Wings fan. All right, pulling up the Habs. Advanced Statistics loves the Habs. When you take a look at the Habs last year, the one thing that Mark Bergevin does really, really well is amass depth. It's depth, depth, depth. Go ahead and look at his forwards. They remind me a lot of the Seattle Kraken. The Advanced Statistics don't love their first line, just like the Kraken, but the deeper you get down into the roster, the more they like the lines. Mike Hoffman was an absolute excellent addition to the Montreal Canadiens. I don't know if this is exactly how the top six is going to work out. I have a feeling Brendan Gallagher may sneak back in up there, but I love the line of Cole Caulfield partnered with Nick Suzuki. Top 30 centerman above. I have Nick Suzuki being a monster this year. Josh Anderson's a fantastic agitator. Jonathan Drouin returns to the roster. I mean, he's a very important piece of this, even though he looks replaceable. And Christian Dvorak, like I said it, he's slightly above replaceable level at 1.0, but I mean, we paid a large amount for him. He's here. He's a second line center. We'll see how he ends up doing. Probably going to be pretty good, to be honest. His defensive prowess is nice, but if you look all over this roster, they have the best wingers in the NHL. Their defensemen are fantastic. The key to the Montreal Canadiens right now is actually their defensemen. The depth is awesome. There's really no weaknesses on defense. There's really no greatness on defense right now, especially losing Shea Weber. They're mid-pack for most of them. I think Romanov and Savard are actually higher than the 28th pair. I think this is where the stats get it wrong. And then looking at their goaltenders, same thing. Carey Price doesn't ever do well in advanced statistics, but there's a very big difference between regular season Price and playoff Price. So Jake Allen is going to have to carry the load. Will Carey Price comes back because we know he's not going to be there for the start, but you know, load management will be a thing for Price. I think this is a pretty good goaltending tandem. So advanced stats don't heavily favor the goaltending, but this team's pesky and it can absolutely do some damage. So where will they finish up? We're going to have to wait and see again. That's why I love covering the Habs. You never know what you're going to get. Big Cats. Meow. Taking a look at the best team 5-on-5 last year in the NHL, the Florida Panthers are stacked from top to bottom. Alexander Barkov, fresh off his 8-year, $10 million deal. The $80 million man is one of the best centermen in the NHL today. Massive GSVA. Games above replacement. I mean, game score value above replacement. Barkov is a monster at the center position. Jonathan Huberdeau is one of the best left wingers in the NHL, definitely making Team Canada. Sam Reinhart, Anthony Duclair statistically look very strong. Sam Bennett's not a bad ad down the middle. I don't exactly love him. And Carter Verhaeghe, he's just, the top six here is just awesome. 8th and 5th, and then you take a look at their third line, it's 7th, their fourth line is 10th. It is just depth among depth among depth, but they have the curse of Joe Thornton. Wherever Joe goes, the cup doesn't follow, so this could be a long year, Panther fans. You're gonna have a really good year, but those playoffs, ask the Leafs, ask the Bruins, ask the Sharks how they're doing. No cups with Joe. Looking at their defensive pairings, Weegar and Ekblad are one of the best first line pairings in the NHL. They're both fantastic players. Radko Gudas, completely replaceable. Forsland, not too bad. And their bottom pairing is right mid-pack, but there's really no holes in their defense. I like their defense a lot, and there's going to be big minutes eaten from the top two pairing guys. Their goaltenders, statistically, the model hates them. I think Bobrovsky, after that $10 million deal that he signed, will bounce back. I think he's a lot better than what this model states. I would rather go in with Bobrovsky over other guys in this division like Jack Campbell and Peter Mrazek, but time will tell. Bobrovsky didn't have a very good playoff run last year. They let Drieger walk away in the expansion draft. Looks tough at goaltending, but this is still a very good team, not a lot of holes. Bruins fans, you're always heavily favored, and that's because I think there's the culture over there in Boston, but statistical models don't care about culture. They just care about games above replacement, and they really love your perfection line. It's the best line in the NHL. Uncontested, Bergeron, Pastrnak, Marchand. I tend to think it's number 2 behind McKinnon's line. But you know what? It's a toss-up. They're both amazing. The perfection line is going to be awesome this year. Taylor Hall signs a really good deal. The problem with the Bruins this year is going to be depth at center. David Krejci not re-signing, that hurts. Charlie Coyle has to play a bigger role than what was expected, and hopefully Jake DeBrusk and the marriage between him and Boston can repair itself this year, and DeBrusk can finally take the step forward that he needs. Boston, your stats pretty much say it all. Your first line is your entire team here. So, as much fun as we make fun of the Edmonton Oilers for only having 3 players, and some of their fans really get on me, Boston, well, you really only have 4 players. Oh well, taking a look at the defense, again, the first pairing defense because of Derek Forbort. I can't tell you this much. Forbort ain't that good. He got overpaid. This is a problem, but he's a meat and potatoes guy. He's not going to cost you a lot, but he's not going to help you. The good news is Charlie McAvoy, the best defenseman in the NHL, according to me, top 30 ranking above. Take that one to the bank, is on that first line, and McAvoy is an absolute beast. So he'll be able to carry Forbort. The problem is, can Forbort actually keep up with McAvoy? He had a very tough time with Neil Pionk last year, and Pionk couldn't hold McAvoy's jockstrap. Taking a look at Matt Grzelcyk and Connor Clifton, as well as Carlo and Riley, it's a reasonably deep core, and you got to build from the net out. So what you lack at forward depth, you make up for in defenseman depth, but the Derek Forbort really doesn't make me feel good. Linus Ullmark and Jeremy Swayman. I was so looking forward to seeing if this was going to be Swayman's net, but Ullmark comes over from the atrocious Buffalo Sabers. We'll see how Ullmark ends up doing. I wonder if this is like a Darcy Kemper thing where he's actually going to be amazing now that he moved over to Colorado. Now that Ullmark got out of that absolute abysmal place in Buffalo, is he going to be better in Boston? We'll have to take a look. I actually think the model is overranking the Boston Bruins this year. The Tampa Bay Lightning actually take a step backwards this year because of the loss of some of their depth pieces on line 3 and line 4, but not a huge step back. Line 3 and line 4 come in ranked right in the middle of the NHL or slightly above it, so their depth is still there. It's average depth for the NHL, and their line 1 and line 2, again, is just amazing. It's one of the best line 1, line 2s in the NHL, so this top 6 is fantastic. It's no longer a big top 9, it's a big top 6, but it's more than enough for the three-peat to happen. Braden Point is an absolute monster. We've talked about it. He's elite as elite can be. So is Nikita Kucherov. This team can absolutely sustain an injury to a key piece and keep chugging along, unlike many teams in the NHL. The defensive pairings are very strong. Victor Hedman and Jan Rutta. Jan Rutta's never been statistically very good, according to the model. Hedman has been, but Hedman took a big step back because of his injury last year. I think Hedman totally rebounds to form this year. No concerns there. Then McDonough and Sergachev are doing the heavy lifting with Cernak and Bogosian. Andre Vasilevsky, second best goalie in the NHL. It's top 2. It's Vasilevsky or it's Hellebuck. Put them both together. They're both 1 and 2. Everybody else comes after them. Vasilevsky's an absolute monster in net. Brian Elliott's your backup. Doesn't matter who your backup is. The Jets are running Comrie. You're running Elliott. Backup means very little when it comes to a team that has a goalie like the Jets and the Lightning do. The one thing the model doesn't take into account for, though, Lightning fans, is tired. They're very tired from 2 back-to-back Stanley Cups. So, are they going to be able to win a third? Time will tell. The Toronto Maple Leafs, the #1 team in this division. Wow. Bet you didn't see that one coming. No, the model isn't broken. No, the model doesn't have a Leafs bias. Yes, everybody can laugh at this. Go ahead, check my Leafs video out for a more in-depth breakdown of how the Leafs ended up here. Give you a better idea of it. But in the meantime, let's talk statistically about the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is a deep team. It has a very deep top 12. They have one of the best first lines in the NHL. They have one of the best second lines in the NHL. They have a so-so third line, but really that's because David Kampf comes in with all his concussions from Boston, and they have an excellent fourth line, mostly driven by the fact that Jason Spezza is an amazing deal for a veteran player, as well as Andre Case. Going ahead and taking a look at their defensemen. I mean, their defensemen, again, one of the best in the NHL in terms of balance. Their top 6 is just deep. Morgan Riley's likely last year with the Leafs. I don't know how they're going to get that done, but I don't expect a trade. TJ Brodie, Jake Muzzin, Justin Hall, Rasmus Sandin's likely getting in the lineup, and Travis Dermott, I don't know if Dermott's actually going to be there. Could be somebody else, but we'll end up seeing. The Leafs, though, have a very good top 60 regardless of who plays on that third pairing. Then we go ahead and take a look at the goalies. They're darlings of statistics, but I mean, these are 2 backups. We've talked about it many times. If you want more of an in-depth breakdown of the Leafs goalies, check out my video above that I just mentioned. All right, so that's that. That's the breakdown of every team in the Atlantic Division. Let's go ahead and see how Coach Ryan D is going to rank them. Using our tier list rankings, I have the Lightning and I have the Leafs tied up top. They are massive Stanley Cup threats. I know, go ahead, laugh, boo, say whatever you want. Last year isn't this year. 56 years in a row isn't this year. The Leafs are still a class in this division, especially because this model is only ranking the regular season. When you go ahead and take a look at playoff threats, we've got got the Bruins and we got the Panthers. I have to step the Bruins down. I mean, I don't know what's going on with their goaltending. I hate line 2 through to line 4, and I hate the fact that Derek Forbert's on this team. But it's Boston, and Patrice Bergeron's one of the best captains in the NHL, so they can get it done. The Montreal Canadiens, you can put them in any category you want because they're the Montreal Canadiens. Go ahead and put them in Stanley Cup threat if you want, fans. Put them in playoff threat. Put them down below if you're a hater. It doesn't matter because the Habs will blow up and ruin any prediction anybody wants to make because that's what the Habs do. They're just a wild card, and I love watching them for that. But realistically, they got to go somewhere, and I'm saying there's just a chance. So they're on the outside. And then you finish it off with the Red Wings and the Sabers. There's absolutely no chance for them. All right, thanks for tuning in to our Atlantic Division preview. I can't wait to watch this division and stick with you all year. This is going to be very exciting. Subscribe, join up. It's been Coach Ryan D. Have a great Thanksgiving weekend, Canada and America. We'll see you on your Thanksgiving weekend in November. So it's been awesome. Bye, guys.